wide receiver rises. Do you have him in the rises?
Yeah,
Tyler
I
Lockett.
think it's tough not to have him as a riser.
Yeah, we probably should mention him.
We saw after his last big game that he scored like 5 and 6 the next 2 weeks, but I mean he's in the Seattle offense. He's going to get bulk. He's going to get bulk looks, bulk touchdowns. So
yeah, I think Metcalf owners and Lockett owners are just going to have to accept they're not going to go big every week.
I think I'd still rather Metcalf.
Yeah, I'm happy with. I have Metcalf. I traded him from the other week. I'm pretty even after watching Lockett's clinic. I'm not too fussed. I think it's just a matter of whoever does well 1 week, they're going to get the coverage next week or in 2 weeks' time. So I think it's going to go back and forward as to who's the main man. But yeah, I think they're both great options in the long run. I think they'll both average quite a lot. Like I think there's both good chances to be in the top 10. But yeah, I think in the short term, there might be a little bit of inconsistency, but I think just wait it out with both of them. But yeah, Tyler Lockett's a huge riser this week. I think everyone was thinking DK's now the number one. No one really saw this coming, and he whips that out. So absolutely smashing it, Tyler Lockett. I just realized I didn't read the trade block people for running backs, but I just looked through them. They're all absolute myths, so who cares? My other riser of the week is Tyler Boyd. He had 7 red zone targets, which, as you know, I was talking to you about this. I just found a website that gives me week-to-week red zone target stats, which I've been looking for about a month. But yeah, in his 27.74 against the Browns, who are a fairly good pass defense, have a pretty good secondary. He had 7 red zone targets. The second most last week was 4. So that just shows how outrageous that is. Yeah, the Browns coming into a quality pass defense, as I just mentioned. They've got Tennessee this week, who have been one of the worst defenses in the league so far. Joe Burrow is improving week after week. And I think the rise of T. Higgins is likely going to help Boyd out. I think after last year's breakout, he would have been seeing a lot more coverage. But now Higgins is breaking out. AJ Green's back. I think Boyd's got a lot more freedom in that offense, and it's seeming like Burrow trusts him most in the clutch situations. So, yeah, Boyd, I'm sure he's rostered in pretty much every league, but to those Boyd owners, they're probably laughing right now because I think he's risen a lot this week.
Yeah,
who have you got? Who have you got here?
I've gone with Jarvis Landry because of Odell's torn ACL. He's now the alpha in the offense. He's not going to be I don't think he's going to be someone who you're going to want to start necessarily, but I'd definitely be trying to buy him low. Like he's definitely jumping up. He'll start seeing more targets.
Yeah, like think about last year. Odell was playing he hardly played last year. He was pretty irrelevant. And Landry was, I think, like the 18th or 19th best wide receiver at the end of the season. So if you can equal that production, yeah, 100%, you're laughing Landry owners. He's probably sitting on a bench out there, cold, isolated, and now he's going to be moving into that starting lineup, you'd think, and cutting shapes for you. So yeah, I'd be very tight. Also, Rashard Higgins on a lesser note, probably worth a pickup. I think you'd be on pretty much every waivers out there, but he's one of Baker's favorite targets. Had a great week last week. So yeah, I think he's probably worth picking up as well. I might be picking him up tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Falls of the week. Who have you got here?
I've got a bit of a double here. Well, pretty much the whole trio in Dallas, Gallup, Cooper, and CD Lamb, especially Gallup and CD Lamb. I think they're going to struggle a lot going forward without Dak. Cooper's still operating as the clear alpha, so he'll get peppered. He's definitely a faller as well, but yeah, Lamb and Gallup, I probably wouldn't even want a bar of this season.
Yeah, Gallup's like so far down my rankings.
I'm pretty sure they both scored 0 on the weekend.
Really? Yeah, Gallup was like my number 60 or something last week. Like, I'm not interested at all. Yeah, great shout. My faller is Stephon Diggs. I was so high on Diggs coming into this week. He was like my number 5, I think, excluding Michael Thomas. But yeah, his yards per catch has been sub 10 2 weeks in a row now. His volume remains huge. He had 11 targets, but he only had 6 receptions. So the accuracy of Allen, the scoring potential of the team, and the yardage from his receptions, they're all starting to worry me. They're all negatively trending, and it's not good signs for Diggs owners because you thought he was going to be a safe wide receiver, one kind of lock away situation. But yeah, they do have 2 nice matches coming up. But yeah, definitely a watch out for Diggs. I think the John Brown return might help Diggs it though, because I think it might make more space in that secondary for him. But yeah, Diggs is probably not as good as I was thinking coming into this week, but who knows? He might bounce back in the next fortnight. Do you have another faller here?
Mike Evans. Just touch on him quickly. I think he's kind of looks a bit cooked. I think he's still dealing with a hammy or something. But
why don't they just sit him out for a month? I don't get it.
Yeah, they should.
They're making the playoffs. Who cares? Like, I hate what they're doing. Like that match. I don't remember what match we saw, but there was a match on prime time, and he was legit like walking. It's like, why is he out there? But yeah, carry on.
Yeah, I'm pretty worried with Antonio Brown coming in because Godwin will stay in the slot, so he'll keep his role. But Evans, I mean, depending on how good AB is, he'll probably become the third man in Tampa, which is never good. You never want to be the number 3 receiver. Like, it'll pretty much make him irrelevant for fantasy.
Yeah, he's got to become like a tight end, isn't he? Just needs a touchdown to get above 10.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, I agree with that call, and just he's so injury prone. I'm glad I've never touched Mike Evans in fantasy footy. Trade block, probably won't go into it too much because we are under time constraints here, but there's a lot of juicy ones on the wide receivers. So if you're a fantasy diehard, keep your ear close to the pulse because there's news coming out every day, and as we mentioned with Odell Beckham, like things can change like for a player in a flash. So keep an eye out. The guys on the block, the main guys, Julio, we've talked about Atlanta have said that's not happening, but you never know. AJ Green's also been talked about leaving. The Houston trio of Will Fuller, Brandon Cooks, and Kenny Stills, Marvin Jones, Golden Tate, Alshon Jeffrey, and John Ross. So it could benefit your players negatively or positively. But yeah, really keep an eye out for that. I'm quite scared of Brandon Cooks leaving Houston, to be honest. I might try and trade him this week if I can, because I don't like the uncertainty of him going. Because realistically, these players are probably going to go to a good team, which will probably see Cooks be like the wide receiver 3. So yeah, hopefully going to get some value for him this week because I'm quite scared of the trade.
Yeah. It's a miracle! Oh yeah! What about that one? Unbelievable! Balotelli! Aguero! Crowd cheers. Here's Siddle.